pro sports and motherhood. That's just crazy.
I mean, at some point in your life, you do have to take a stand.
Welcome back to the Running Report. We give you running news produced for and by the culture. And today we got a new type of video for you on Mother's Day. This is our first time. Well, that's not our first time, but we have a new reaction video. I like to kind of call it now like RR React or Running Report React. And I have a special guest, and that is my mom. How are you doing, Mom?
I'm doing well.
This is Marnay Potts, the mother of 4 in the Potts household. Has been my mom my whole life. I guess you would say.
Yes.
But before we get into the video, as we look into like all these like great track moms, I know I'm sitting next to a great mom right here myself, but like how has track just influenced your life? Like my mom's not a professional track runner. She wasn't a runner in high school. She never did club track. You have been heavily influenced by track, and just talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so all 4 of my boys, I have 4 sons. Joshua's the youngest, and all 4 of them were involved in track, and they got involved at a young age due to our husband wanting them all to be in some type of sport. So I've been to, I can't count how many track meets I've been to, club track meets, high school track meets, probably junior high, college. I've been to so many track meets, and I really did truly enjoy them. I enjoy watching my kids run, and you build a family because we get to know so many people. I know so many people just from my children running track, and my husband coached track, so it heavily influenced my life to the point where I started running. As an
half
adult.
marathons and everything like that.
Yeah.
She's come a long way, believe me. She's come a long way. Before she didn't like really run at all, but now these past couple years she's gotten into a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see like I remember watching her at a half marathon race and then be able to cheer her on that time and be all like kick. All the way, Mom, all the way. All the way, kick. Soldier. When it's not, she ain't really kicking, she just surviving out there.
It's true, I was just surviving. It's true, but track is a very good sport. I really do enjoy it.
But yeah, let's get into these elite women real quick. And we really want to look and focus in on these track moms, these professional track athletes that are moms that really just been some of the greatest in the sport. And the first one we have to talk about is the most decorated athlete of all time, that is Allyson Felix. First, we want to look at her race from last year at the 2019 USA Championships, where she didn't exactly win the race, but her impact on this race after coming from her pregnancy, and we'll look more into like how like impactful that pregnancy was onto the entire sport, track and field. But first, let's just look at her 400 after like a year of not running. I really can't believe that she was able to come back and like compete at this high of a level.
Yeah, that's amazing how her body went back that quickly after having a baby. Yeah, her stomach is basically flat.
I think what's so crazy about like this race too is like there's a lot of like super fast women in this race. Like, so there's a lot of fast women, but like I feel like NBC, they really focused in on Allyson just because like the amazing, not just because she's one of the most decorated ever, one of the greatest like sprint athletes of all time, but like her journey to get here from like her postpartum and everything like that is pretty incredible.
Yes, I think so.
But
I think it's like a good example for mothers. I mean, that shouldn't stop you.
Yeah.
Just because you have a baby.
See this one right here, all black.
Yeah, that's good.
And there, Allyson. She didn't finish. I feel like she didn't finish where she wanted to, but like.
But that's still good. I mean,
yeah.
That's after having a baby. I mean, she got out there and she did it. I think it's amazing.
We'll hear more from Allyson in a second.
Oh,
but
okay.
another Happy Mother's Day I want to say too is also Nia Ali. So Nia Ali, she just we'll just have this race speak for itself. Y'all leads right there.
Okay.
Well, Harrison got a terrific start. There's been a pull-up already. Tapper's gone in lane number 9. Coming through
And she
Nia
just had a
Ali is the
baby
leader at
also.
this stage. It's Nia
Yeah.
Ali. Williams starting to fade. Nia Ali from her compatriot.
That's crazy.
Out the line, it's Nia
She
Ali.
won it.
She is the
Wow.
world champion. 12.39 the winning time.
She won this.
Oh, she has two.
She has two kids. And what's even crazier, well, look at this other thing real quick before we talk a little bit more about Nia Ali. This is back in 2016 when she placed, I believe, second, and her just talking about having her first kid and
her
the pressures.
When I saw him and I like got around to that portion of the track and they brought him out here, I'm like, we did it. Like, that's the first thing I said to him. He doesn't understand, but it's like, we did it. Like, you're doing this again on a big stage. This is the Olympics. And it was just a great moment because he just knows that it's me. Like, he's just excited to see me. He doesn't know what's happening around him. I just want more women to embrace being able to have a family and not kind of look at it as something that could be a burden or something that might throw them off their game, or they may not come back, because everything is God's plan, and if it's for you, then you'll get it. You'll get it.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let women know that just because you have a baby, even just if you're not running track, just in general with being healthy, like you can recover your body. Because a lot of times after women have kids, they let their bodies go. Sometimes, it's hard to get their body back, but if you work at it, you can get back there.
Yeah, that's really is incredible. Just to be able, she has two kids in like the span from 2016 to 2015 to 2019, and be able to have a silver medal and a gold medal. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So is she the one who like ran like while pregnant?
Oh no, we'll watch that right.
Oh, okay.
Right. This is. Lisa Montano dropped this huge New York Times op-ed that really got the conversation of maternity leave like really going in like the track world.
Believe in something. Even if it means sacrificing everything. Like maybe your contract, your pay. Even if you have to watch them roll out an ad campaign praising women like you and preaching the importance of taking a stand. Pro sports and motherhood, that's just crazy. And I wanted to show people that you can be a mother and still have a successful career, even in sports. I was sponsored by Nike, and then when I told them that I wanted
that's
to
sort
have
of
a
crazy
baby
because
girl-
I would never ever run while I was pregnant, because back then, you're scared like, oh, I'm gonna hurt the baby or I'm gonna get hurt. You would never, maybe do a little exercise, but running, I would be afraid I'm gonna fall. So.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a professional runner and that's what you do, you can continue to do it.
Yeah, I think it's really crazy too. 'Cause I was just thinking about this, like, I want to say like 60 years ago, like women weren't able to like compete in like the Boston Marathon. But just to think of that, like then, like people were trying to stop women from like exercising.
Yeah.
Like that would make you tough or something, or make you more like tomboyish.
Right.
And now people are trying to stop women from exercising while pregnant, when actually Alicia proves that it's maybe even more better for you.
Right. The exercise and her pregnancies, I don't know about her actual delivery. It might have been smoother because now you are encouraged. I think women are encouraged. More women do like exercise through pregnancies. But when I was pregnant, they always think you're delicate. You need to take it easy. Don't do too much. You don't want to hurt the baby. But yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. I would never like dream of doing something
run
like
800.
that. Yes, and run fast too.
Yeah,
because you'd be afraid you're gonna fall. I would be so.
And we're not just up against our sponsors. The U.S. Olympic Committee strips our health insurance if we do not stay at the top of our game during our pregnancy. And this just makes our comeback even harder. I taped my abs together because they were torn apart. I wore a brace as I'd go and I'd lift to come back within their time frame that they were expected of me.
Dedication.
That's all while she's pregnant?
No, this is after her first kid.
Oh, okay.
This is before that race we just saw.
Oh, okay.
Championships at 6 months postpartum. I won another national championship at 10 months postpartum while still nursing my baby girl. I showed up to the World Championships in Beijing, China, still nursing my daughter, and pumped for 10 days.
Wow, she had a lot of determination, like, I'm gonna do this.
So companies like Nike tell us to dream crazy. We say, how about you stop treating our pregnancies like injuries? Then they tell us to believe in something. We say, how about maternity leave?
Right.
How about when you tell my daughter she can achieve anything, you back it up?
Right.
So come on, Nike. When are you going to start dreaming crazy?
So she is challenging Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, to think that pregnancy is injury or a condition, that's just wrong.
Yeah, it's really, and then to like piggyback off of that, like, is that like surprising to you that this is like happening in sports to women?
Yeah, I think it should, because I mean that's her livelihood, that's her job. Just like you work on a regular job, you have maternity leave, so they should have maternity leave too. Because like she said, the man, his wife can have a baby, he can have a baby and don't miss a beat, he can continue on, but the woman's the one who actually carried the baby. So they need to make provisions for her because she wants to continue to run. And you see, all three of them proved that you can have a baby and you can still run. So they really do need to implement some type of maternity leave for them. I don't think they should be not paying them, and yeah, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. And we have one more video to watch, and that is Allison Felix. This is recent. I think this came out in like March.
Oh, okay.
This is not in March. This came out in April, and this is just like her journey now to the Summer Olympics and talking about like everything.
The last 2 years have been the hardest and the best years of my life. I got married to my husband, Kenneth. My daughter, Cameron, was born. But it wasn't the ideal birth I'd planned on. At 32 weeks, my doctors discovered I had a dangerous condition called preeclampsia. My life and my daughter's life were in immediate danger, but we made it through. And Cameron was there cheering for me last September when I won my 13th World Championship, the most of any track and field athlete.
And she had a C-section and she's still running.
Yeah.
She was cut on.
So I think what's really crazy about like Allison's situation is that how she had that like disease and she was able to fight through that, and how she mentioned in that she lost her sponsorship she didn't lose her sponsorship, she decided to like forego it or just not be signed with the sponsor, but like she could have. In another one, she talked about how she was open to like taking less money, like that was definitely on the table for her. But the main thing was that Nike wouldn't ensure that for if she were to have another child, that they wouldn't give her maternity leave, they wouldn't give her pay. And she went on to say that it wasn't just for her, because she's just not sure if she's gonna have another child when she retires, but for women in the future.
Women. Yeah, that's good. I mean, at some point in your life, you do have to take a stand. And if these pregnant women who got pregnant, if they wouldn't stand up and they just stay with Nike, they wouldn't make a difference. But maybe at some point they'll get it. Yeah, because that's just not right. Because women are going to continue to have babies. They just as athletic as men are, and they should be. I mean, they really should be applauded, and they should compensate them.
And that makes, I feel like some of the best athletes in like the game are like mothers too. I look at Nia Ali, just won gold. Look at Serena Williams in another sport. She's still like the best in the world, like undoubtedly, and she has a kid as well.
And they have lives just like everyone else. They get married, have kids, so I mean, what do they expect them to like? Well, maybe they think you're just gonna put your life on hold, and not have any kids until after your career is over. But
with that, I feel like this was really good. I feel like this is a talk that's not really happening in a lot of places, but that's what is happening here on the Running Report. And we really just want to give a shout out to all the mothers out there on this beautiful Mother's Day here in 2020. I know you may have not been able, it wasn't a normal Mother's Day to say the least. It's definitely going to be different. But do you have anything that you want to say to all the mothers out there, or even specifically to the MRTT, the mothers, moms running to town, or the mom runners?
Say happy Mother's Day to all my MRTT ladies that run with me. I'm a part of that group, and we run on a weekly, at least 2 to 3 times a week. So happy Mother's Day. I love all of you, and I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers everywhere. Hope you have a very blessed Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
for
welcome,
coming
and
on.
thank you for having me.
And happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Oh,
Happy
thank
Mother's
you.
Day.
Thank you.
Yeah.